So we've done a lot of updates about onion. We've been showing you onion ever since the beginning of the year. And today is a happy story. A crop story about a crop that is almost finishing. We are what we call the business end. And this crop is literally about to be coming out of here and going straight into our bank balance. Stay with us. Greetings from the farm. Thank you very much for joining us again here on the Mondo Farms channel. My name is Chisha Folotia. I'm at Winterthorn Farm on the outskirts of Chongwe. So I'm standing at Westgate. You know we're at Westgate when you see the tanks. And when you look around, we look around and we see a whole bunch of onion here. We've got quite a little bit of our main onion crops here on the farm for this season. As I said, today we're going to be focusing on these guys. Westgate 1 Block A. These are the guys that we transplanted in the middle of April. So here at Westgate, we've got different onion crops that were grown, sown or transplanted at different times. Let's start over there in the corner with Bazibigi. Bazibigi was transplanted middle of April, and this was the first group, and that would be what we're focusing on today. And then we came back and put a couple of more lines when we went back to the nursery to find a few more that were viable. And then, of course, we came and direct planted this crop, Westgate 2A. These are the guys, they're also doing extremely well. And then, after some challenges in June, when we had too many seeds, we came and transplanted some of them out into here, which we call Westgate 2B. And then, of course, the last onion crop that we did on the OPV was towards the end of July when we had Westgate 1C. And these are just little babies, aren't they? They're just little babies. This is one of the things that happen when you have a little bit of seed left and you decide, no, let's just plant it and see what happens and we take a chance on it. When onion reaches the last stage and you get a lot of bulbing at this stage, we're now getting ready to harvest it. So there's a couple of things that we have to do. One of the things we do is to stop watering it. We stop watering it, we stop fertilizing it, because we're trying to tell the crop to say now, okay, manje makula manje, you are now getting ready to leave us and get out to the market. So I've come into the block now to have a look around, and we noticed a couple of things as we noticed about a crop that is at this stage. And one of the things we see are bulbs, lots of bulbs. I mean, for a crop of this age, we really should be seeing bulbs. So we've got the bulb here, a larger one, we've got a slightly smaller one, we've got one on this side. Lots and lots of bulbs everywhere. It has reached the physiological stage whereby it is now storing food for the next season. Some of the bulbs are quite visible because they've come sort of out of the ground, and others are actually in the ground. In the ground, you'd have to dig out in there to see them. My finger is not that strong. Let's have another good line of here. Here's a few here. One of the things that has always helped me to understand crop farming over the last couple of years that I've been doing things here at Winterthorn has been to always remember my biology and to always think of the plants as living creatures and to understand what is it doing, why is it here, and what does this creature need or what does it want to do at this particular stage. It's a little bit tough, but I've got to bend down and be able to share with you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's hope you can see everything that I'm showing you here. So your onion was once a little baby. It was a seed, it germinated, it grew. Onion is biennial crop, and it now reaches the stage whereby it wants to store food, and the food in a bulb crop like onion is here. That's where it stores, and you can actually be able to reproduce and propagate for the next season. So it's right now taking food from here, photosynthesis and chlorophyll and all of that stuff, and it's sending it down into the bulb, here, down into the bulb. and that's why the bulbs grow, and that's what we want. So over time, like, oh, here's a big one, nice one here. This bulb is getting bigger and bigger, and if I touch the neck here, it's a little bit loose. It's a little bit loose, and after some time, it's going to fall, and that's what we call neck fall. Here's one. Oh, here's one that's actually fallen. So it's done making its food. Let me pull this out so we can maybe see it a little bit better. This was one of the twins. The neck has fallen, and both necks have fallen of this one. And let's pull it out. And it has now reached that dormancy stage, and you can see this beautiful brown, papery color of the skin itself, and the skin is there to protect it. So at some point the roots will stop taking in water, and the neck has fallen. Look at that. It is neck fall. This is what we call, and this onion here is ready for harvest. So basically, all of the onion here is now storing its food, and when we see the next fall like this, then we know that it's ready for harvest. Now, it's at different stages, so as farmers, we kind of tend to wait until we have generally about 75 to 80% neck fall. That's when we can come in and pull them out, because if you leave them too long, bad things can happen. So another quick look at some of the other bulbs. Here's a prime bulb, very big bulb. It's now going to reduce on this, and that's why you see the actual leaves going brown, because it's doing less and less of that work, and it's now in the storage stage. Beautiful. The neck is going to get thinner and thinner. I can actually feel this neck having started to have some challenges, and over time the neck will actually lose the ability to support the weight of the thing, and it will come down. One of the things we don't want is big necks. Here's a big neck. Oh, we don't want this big neck, because what we want is for everything to come down into the bulb. We don't eat the necks, we eat the bulbs. And here's another big one, big bulb with a neck that has fallen, and it's ready to come out. Oh, that is juicy, man, juicy, juicy, juicy. And another area where there's a lot of neck fall here, just around the signpost. Look behind it. We've got some big guys there. Not quite sure why, but we had a lot of very, very, very healthy growth here, and all of these guys have fallen, most of them anyway. So we are looking across here. What percentage are we on right now? We're on about just 5 to 10% neck fall. 10? No, maybe even just 5. And we've still got a couple of days to go before the rest of them fall. I mentioned before that if we leave the onions in the ground for too long, when they reach this stage, then bad things happen. And here's exactly what I mean by bad things happen. It's a symptom, a thing, a horrible experience called bolting. Bolting. And bolting is when the plant reaches its reproductive stage. Statistically, you're always going to get some bolting in an OPV crop like this. And here is a perfect example of this. This is a bolted onion. Look, it is starting to make a flower. Now, there are crops that we grow for flowers, but we don't grow onion for flowers. So we really don't want it to do that. And what's happening right now physiologically, look at how strong this shoot is. The neck is. It's strong. It's taking the food from down here and it's sending it back up there with all the genetic material and everything to make this flower. So we do not want onions to bolt. And then what happens in here is that if we were to leave this, you would find that the onion itself would be hollow inside, because it's literally, as we say, the local term, ipompoloka. It's taking all the food from there. So the best thing we can do at this stage is to take this one out and take it home to the ladies at home for them to do something with it and produce another wonderful onion product or food. So under normal circumstances, in nature, if there is such a thing as nature for the crops that human beings have been growing for thousands of years, Let's not talk about that. Bolting would really occur and reproduction would occur in what we term the second season. So remember, the first season, it grows, stores food, waits for optimal time, and then it starts to flower again. So looking across here, you'd find that maybe 10, 15, 20 of them have bolted across, and it's nothing, it's no big deal. So we do come in and remove the bolted ones because leaving them in the ground does absolutely nothing for us. Now, as modern farmers, we're not just going to stand around waiting for 80% of the next to fall and nature to take its course. You know, the whole thing about agriculture is it's basically the manipulation of nature for the needs that we have as humans. So we do certain things to help it along in the process. One of which is starving it of water. No, we're not being cruel and horrible to the plants. We're actually telling them, hey, look, the rain season is over, go into the bulbing stage. So for the last X amount of weeks, we haven't been actually watering this crop. And the crop has been getting all its nutrients from the soil, the liquid that's in the moisture that's in the soil. And it is now pretty dry when you look here. And this is the stage that we're at now. And also, if I pan out a little bit, you'll notice one thing is that all the drips have been removed because we've got other crops that are going down in the ground down at Riverside, the summer crops that I mentioned in another video. So we needed to come in and take this thing. So, for example, this pipe here is now going to be taken down to one of the other crops that are being planted now. It's very important on a farm to be able to reuse all your resources and inputs. And if we've got a crop like this where we're not watering it anymore, and we've got another one where we're planting seeds of zucchini squash down at Riverside, then it just makes sense that we come in and we get all the irrigation equipment out of here. So you see the drips like this. It's ready to come out, and the pipes down here, and we should be removing these and taking them to the new place because the farm keeps going on. This is an irrigated farm. There's one door closes, another door opens. Wow, in the middle of filming, I suddenly got really hungry and I decided to just take a very quick lunch break. Let me get back into the filming and talk more about the onions that we're about to harvest. And let's take a very quick look at the neighbors. This is Westgate 1A, our pride and joy. And if you look at it, you can see it looks quite different in a couple of ways from where we came from, Westgate 1A, which was, as we said, much older crop, that advanced stage of bulbing. And our 2A has literally started bulbing. And one thing you also notice, it's still getting water. Look, yep, we're still watering this one. We're still in the process. We want this bulbing. We shall be killing off water in about a week or two. And you can see that some of the bulbs are quite advanced, but others are still being formed and still being made. So here in 2A, we're still putting fertilizer. What kind of fertilizer, you may ask? Potassium. So we come in with a potassium, like right now we're using Vita-K from Omnia. Very, very, very good product. And the purpose of the potassium is to help with the bulbing and the finishing process so that we get firmer bulbs. And Vita-K also contains sulfur as well, which helps with a lot of the processes that the plant is actually going through. And there's a couple of more other big differences between 2A and 1A. Number one is the closenesses of the bulbs, the size of the bulbs. If I come down here, you can see the bulbs that we have down here. So these bulbs are a lot tighter and closer, and they're actually smaller than those huge monsters that we were seeing over on the other side. And that is because of the spacing that we used when we transplanted. When we were up at 1A back in the middle of April, we were literally going 10 by 10 centimeters. And that was what has caused the big bulb, because onion is a very strange crop. It'll keep growing. It'll keep growing and growing and growing as long as it's got food and water and nutrition and stuff. But whereas here on 2A, we actually came a little bit closer and we transplanted them at around about 5 centimeters or so. And I've been saying in previous videos, these are exactly the sizes of the bulbs that we were looking for. And the other main difference is the color. So if you look here behind me, it's quite dark, deep green. But over there on Westgate 1A, it's kind of yellowish and dryish looking. And the reason for the difference in the color is that here on 2A, we're still feeding and watering it. We're giving it potassium, as I said. The drips are still coming on intermittently. It's still at a much earlier stage and it's still in the early bulbing. Whereas on 2A, it's now late bulbing and it's time to go in the sun. So that's been a very, very quick look at our crop, our most mature crop of onion at the farm now that is almost ready for harvest. We've looked at the physiology of it. What is bulbing? Why do onion plants bulb? And how does it happen? And what can we do to help them? We've looked at the things that happen after bulbing comes neck fall. And if you're not careful, you get a little bit of bolting, but it's okay. We've also had a very quick look at the next crop that will be harvested, which is the one on 2A. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Mondo Farms channel. We really like all the support that we're getting from all over as we share our farming journey here, farming all sorts of vegetables and doing all sorts of things on the outskirts of Chongwe. I've got a little bit of onion that I'm taking home with me. But before I go, I just wanted to make a special mention about people who've subscribed to the channel. I just checked and we've now over 3,100 and something subscribers. And that is something that I have been so amazed with, the number of people who've subscribed to the channel because they find value in what we are sharing here about our farming journey here at Winterthorn. It's been amazing. Thank you to each and every one of you. For those of you who haven't subscribed yet, how do you subscribe to a YouTube channel? You press the subscribe button and then you press the bell icon. And the bell icon means that YouTube will notify you when a new video comes. We like to shoot out a video around about every 5, 7 or 10 days. And we do all sorts of updates about life here on the farm and some of the processes and the journey that we're having here. Sometimes we're not able to give some of the very technical advice that people ask us about. And a quick comment on comments is that we've had a lot of comments, and I do read each and every one of those comments. Some people asking us about X, Y, and Z, and we try to send people in the right direction. There's some questions we get from different parts of the world that we are basically naturally limited in what we can do. All right, so did you like this video? I hope you did. Now, if you did, then YouTube wants to know that you did. And you can do that by pressing the thumbs up button at the bottom, underneath there. And it helps us with the algorithm as YouTube knows more of the type of thing that you like. And then they will be able to show you more videos like this one. My name is Shisha Folotia. I'm gonna head to the other side of the farm and I shall see and speak with you very soon here on the Mondo Farms channel. Shale Nipo. Bye-bye.